fellas. I know, Shady.
My bad. I know we got practice.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's on me. That's on me. Okay, look. Head coach for the Raiders, Antonio Pierce, went off on his players after the game. You got to hear it. We'll discuss.
I think as the game went on, I don't think it was a team. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions, and we'll make business decisions going forward as well.
Oh, what was he talking about, though? Did anyone watch the film?
I know how it's going in the locker.
Yeah, exactly. Who are you talking about?
You know I like that, though? Because when you watch tape, it's going to be like, yo, oh, he talking about 78. Oh, he talking about 65. You need to see that. That's why I love this, though, about Pierce, man. When he got the job, I was so happy because, I got a relationship with Max Crosby. We're pretty cool. And he talks about how it's like, imagine having one of your best teammates, but he's your coach. Yeah. Think how that sounds, though. Your best teammate, but he's your coach. And knowing that's like, that's why we need more player coaches. I don't know if they all got to be head coaches, but they need to be on that roster because sometimes, that's why Andy Reid's so special, though, right? Because he has a lot of his ex-players on his team. And it's like, I might can't understand what it feels like to really be that linebacker, right? Yep. When I'm in a huddle and we all tired and we got to make a play, right? Or, yo, our legs are dead tired, coach. We need a break. But if I never really got between the white lines for real, do I really know that? And when he speaks from a player's perspective, you got to respect it because now when he says, yo, people make business decisions. And that means, for all the viewers out there,
talk about it.
My job may be to tackle, maybe to pass, maybe to catch, maybe to run, but I see this linebacker about to get me his 3rd and 1. And I don't fight for that. I got to block an extra little second for my quarterback to get his pass to Devontae Adams. And I let him go because I'm not fighting hard enough. Making a business decision is not the best for the team, it's the best for you. And he said he's going to do the same thing going forward. And some dudes might get cut or might get benched, and I can't wait.
Let me tell y'all why I don't like it.
Oh, come on.
This is the locker room, though.
Come on, man. You better. You're not talking to America.
Let me tell you.
You're talking to your players.
Well, I don't like it. Here's the problem with players. We've all been them. And if we are self-reflective, here's the problem. I'll be honest with y'all. Sometimes players, we don't see the bigger picture. The players are a reflection of their coach. So if players are making business decisions, it's not a player thing. Now, Pierce, I need you to look yourself in the mirror. If a player made a business decision, it's on the player. But when multiple players are doing something, what are you doing as a coach? You're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. So if players are doing it, now I'm looking at you, Pierce. James Jones, you said something a year and a half. I do not want to misquote you. Mike McCarthy, you quoted him as one of the best quotes I'd heard you said about him. He said something like, if one player does it wrong, it's on the players. Yeah. But what's the quote? What's the quote? I forget.
If
you remember it?
Don't mess it up.
If one player does it wrong, it's on the player. If multiple players do it wrong, it's on the coach.
Okay. And when I saw the Pierce quote, I thought literally of James Jones. He said that like a year and a half ago. And that's where I'm at. He said we had players making business decisions, plural. That lets me know, hey, Pierce, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, what are you doing that's enabling players to make business decisions? One player, I'm cool with it.
It's twofold in my book, and I get what you're saying, but it's too early in the year. And he doesn't want the Raiders to be the old Raiders of past, right? Like when he was hired as the head coach this offseason, Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, the star players were standing on their chairs saying, we want this guy because of what Shady said. He's played the game. He understands us. He's a true players coach because he's played the game. Yeah. So he understands it. He's actually done a really good job with that coaching staff. You saw Marvin Lewis on the sideline and him talking. He surrounded himself with a lot of really smart people. This might not just be coming from him. He's the leader of the team at the end of the day. He's got a really good staff around you. So I would have issue if he doesn't say this because you have to get up there and you have to hold your players accountable for their actions.
What about yourself? What about holding yourself accountable?
Absolutely. And he even said, I need to coach better. Yeah. I need to coach better.
And you know he was a captain.
Yeah.
So he's always
from the real team. Yeah.
He's going to get my shoulder untied to block me.
Let me say this, right? Because I'm in that Raiders facility every weekend.
Yep.
Right? We all play. That's the blessing about this show, right? We all played the game. We've all been in situations with coaches to where at one point we felt like, why you ain't just keep it real with me and tell me that, dog? You know what I'm saying?
Way too long.
Why after I stop making plays, now all of a sudden it's a problem? Now you want to say that? Now you want to say that to the media? One thing about Antonio Pierce, which I love every bit about this,
Yes, I do.
this been him since day one. I don't know if y'all remember the Marcus Peters situation, turning down a lot of stuff. Come on. I know you might be the best cover corner, you getting picks, you getting all that. We ain't having that. Come on over here to the sideline, stand by me. You know what happened the next day? They released him.
Cut.
You understand? So Antonio Pierce has been 100% real with Max Crosby, with Devontae, with everybody on this team. We just lost to the Carolina Panthers, man.
Got beat down.
They benched their
After
first.
beating the Ravens
They
at home.
benched their first overall pick. They didn't know Andy Dalton was coming in here playing like that. We ain't got no time for no feelings when I step up to this podium. We just lost to the Carolina Panthers. I don't have no problem with this because this is how he's been.
Get him, James.
None of these
Get him,
dudes in the
James.
locker room right now is looking at Antonio Pierce's presser saying, why are you talking like that all of a sudden? No, they know that's how Antonio
They
Pierce talks.
appreciate it.
And Antonio Pierce keep it real like that.
I agree with everything y'all are saying. Where I draw the line in the sand is real simple.
Most of
If you get beat down by the Panthers, they didn't just lose. They got beat down.
They did.
But they just beat the Ravens.
Right.
Who is setting the culture that whole week? Who's feeling themselves so
Classic
much that
trap game.
you good enough to beat the Ravens, but then you're distracted enough to lose to the worst team in football by a long shot? To me, that is on the
it's still
coach.
early.
The coach is the one who dictates the entirety of the culture. I'm with Antonio Pierce for calling people out. That's fine. I wouldn't necessarily do it right after the game because you ain't watched the tape. So what might look like a business decision on the field, you don't necessarily know until you watch the tape.
so
Oh,
wait,
no, he knows.
You
He
telling me
knows, bro.
So you tell me for the people who make business decisions, because I can't lie.
We've all made it. We've all
Hey, for real? Hey, y'all might be playing.
So wait, y'all can take some plays out. Stanley was my
Yeah.
running back coach, one of the best, right? He got the best out of me.
Deuce.
And then sometimes he done check me, yo, and I'm the man too. Man, he blitzing in there. I'm like, oh. He got the big neck rolls. I'm like, oh. And look, I came in there, right? That's a business decision.
Correct.
So my thing is, we look at the Jaguars last night. They played the Bills, whatever,
Yeah.
right? And you don't think some of the guys made business decisions? Because we talk about Josh Allen like he was electrifying because he was. And he's special.
On the Jags, you're saying?
But what about when they ran the ball up and down the field on them boys? The D lineman. What about no pass rush? You got 2 first rounds on the edges, though, right? They're supposed to be really, really good. They ain't do nothing, though. So when we talking about making business decisions, right? I don't need to look at the tape to see that.
Fair.
Where y'all at?
But here's my question, and James, you might know this best.
Okay.
Did Antonio Pierce make any business decisions?
No.
Meaning, after they beat the Ravens and they was feeling themselves, did you work as hard in film that week for the Panthers
Only he
as you
knows.
did for the Ravens? Exactly right.
Only he
Did they get to see you Wednesday? Instead of practicing on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, obviously, when you have a victory, for those that don't know in the NFL, if you win on Sunday,
Victory
sometimes your coach might say,
Monday.
hey, victory Monday, meaning you're off. Did you make any business decisions? Because you finna stand on this presser and say, you know, some of y'all made business decisions. I'm gonna make my business decisions too. Were you above reproach? Because y'all shouldn't have got smacked by the Panthers, coach.
No doubt. And you know, you might get out schemed sometimes. Offense and defense. You might get out schemed sometimes. They watch film, they might put in some plays. You might get out schemed, right? But I truly believe Antonio Pierce got this coaching job because of how hard this team was playing and the way they looked on tape. So once we get in between them lines, you may get out schemed a couple plays, but that energy and effort ain't got nothing to do with Antonio Pierce and the coach.
All you want as players
like,
is truth. You want
like,
truth.
if you turned on the tape, Acho, and you know, right, when you turn on the tape, I didn't give it a buck trying to go in there and tackle that back.
Yeah.
I know coming across the middle, I could have tried to go get it, but I peeked at the safety. Like you know, so my thing is when you step in between the line, the energy and effort ain't got nothing to do with the coach. Now, you might get out schemed and we could, hey, Antonio Pierce, you're in the wrong defense right here. That might be true. But the energy and effort, if you watch that Carolina game, Carolina wanted that game more than the Raiders when they stepped in between the lines. And I'm all good with calling players out when I don't feel like you gave it 100%.
I think it was some star players.
It's a problem, dog.
I'm going to go back and look at that film. I think it was some star players, so he's making a point.
It might have been. Well, speaking of business decisions and players making points at other players, how about the Dallas Cowboys? What in the world is going on with them? A 1 up for this one, family. If you thought we was having fun, it gets even better. Trevor Lawrence, he struggled in the worst way. Yesterday, was sacked 4 times, intercepted as well. The Jags blown out by the Buffalo Bills. And Shady, I literally watching this game, I thought of my dog 2-5 because forever, to me, to James, to you at home, Shady McCoy has been trying to get us to hear one simple truth. that Trevor Lawrence is not as good as many suggested he is. So, Shady, I ask you this question, and feel free to sound off. I know you